Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the party. Today is Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. This is episode 934 of your Simply Cyber Daily Cyber Threat Free podcast. I am your host, Two Thumbs All Smiles, coming to you live at 5 a.m. from Las Vegas, Nevada, Black Hat 2025. Dr. Gerald Auger, and over the next hour, if you're looking to level up your game and absolutely eviscerate your cybersecurity job interviews and your cybersecurity career in general, well, my friends, settle in. Get comfortable, get a coffee, or get your favorite drink of choice and get ready. Because in this daily cyber threat brief, we're going to absolutely be shredding the top cybersecurity news stories of the day. And I'll be doing everything in my power to leverage the 20 plus years of experience and the education that I have in order to distill down the essence of these stories and really give you value on what it is that's actually going on here at an organizational level and operational level. Things that go well beyond the textbook and the classroom, things that you only get from living the experiences. And I got scars, and I know where the bodies are buried. So come on down, get comfy, guys. We got a great show for you. Frederick Turner says he saw me on MTV. Thank you, Frederick Turner. All about good times, guys. Just a quick reminder, we are coming to you from the hotel room. This is the mobile studio, so Space Tacos. As always, we got the Team Sippy Cup going at you strong. Had a dinner last night with a couple of Simply Cyber community members. Shout out to Mrs. Auger, The Real Bilbo, Matt Jones. Just great people, and that's what this week's all about. If you're not here, you're here in spirit. Believe that. Well, like I said, we got a great show for you. If today is your first time tuning in, please drop a hashtag first timer in chat. Hashtag first timer in chat. We have a special sound effect, a special emote, and we love welcoming our new members so they feel comfortable and included. Andre Mack, yes, MTV. I am the cyber nerd on the Caught in the Act Double Life with Tamar Braxton. Go check it out. It's all about good times, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed Tyler Ramsby. Shout out to him. Thank you for running the show yesterday. Definitely appreciate that while we flew in and traveled into South Carolina. Las Vegas. Now, before we get into it, let me holler at you for a second. I got two things of value to share with you. Number one, this show is worth half a CPE. I'm an instructor. This is a webinar. It sounds boring as crap, but reality is this is an instructor-led webinar, and we are bringing the heat for you. So all you got to do is say is what's up in chat. Grab a screenshot. You could see the chyron on the bottom. We'll say half a CPE when it begins, as it's about to show right now. And just file this away once a year. Yes, I'm in the pyramid, Dave Clifton, the Luxor. Just file it away, and once a year, count up the screenshots, divide by 2. That's how many CPEs you have. I had a request yesterday for auto submissions. That's not happening as of right now, but I do feel like I make it as easy as possible. Oh, hey, Team SC, we've got a first-timer in chat. Let's descend upon AMLYV, Amliv Norris. Amliv Norris, welcome to the party, pal.
Welcome to the party, pal.
I'm going to go into the squad chat myself. If you're a squad member, you have a special emote tray. You can do this really quickly at Amliv. Amliv Norris, thank you for joining us this morning. I hope you have a great show. Get those CPEs. Yes, Roswell, UK. Giddy up on that. All right, before we get into it, let me say shout out and thanks to the stream sponsors, those who enable me to bring this show to you every single day, whether it's live from the Pyramid in Las Vegas or it's from sunny low country. Let me take a slug of this coffee, by the way. Oh, so good. All right. First off, let's say shout out and thanks to Barricade Cyber Solutions. Guys, Barricade Cyber Solutions and their Fortify 365 solution can help you and your organization take advantage of the M365 environment you're already paying for. If you're paying for M365 and you have done not a great job of taking advantage of all the security controls that come with your purchase or subscription to M365, you are taking on massive risk for no reason. Configure that M365 environment, harden it to be the best it can be while not impacting your operational performance. But Jerry, how do I do that? How do I do these things of hardening my environment without impacting operational performance? Well, go to barricadecyber.com/fortify-365, rolls off the tongue, and contact Eric Taylor and tell him about your needs, right? Have a phone call, speak business to business, and get it sorted out. M365, don't go it alone. Use Fortify 365 to protect your organization today from tomorrow's threats. I also want to say shout out and love to Anti-Siphon Training. Do love Anti-Siphon Training. They're always bringing cutting edge, high quality education to everyone, regardless of financial position. And they have Blue Team Summit coming up August 27th, later this month, just 22 days away. You can attend this live, free cyber conference, right? If you're having FOMO because you're not here for Black Hat, if you're having FOMO because you're not going to DEF CON, well then scratch the itch with Blue Team Summit, August 27th. Absolutely free to attend, absolutely free to do all the things. Come join. Spoiler alert, the agenda has several Simply Cyber community speakers, so at a minimum, come support your community members, holler at you, and shout out to all the Simply Cyber community members who submitted and got accepted to talk at Blue Team Summit. I'm going to drop a link in chat. An absolute banger of an opportunity, one that you're not going to want to miss. I am on the mobile, like the legit mobile studio, so it is very, very difficult for me to do the show here. I only have one hand. All right, guys. Of course, we've got Delete Me. You guys know it. I know it. They protect me. Several of you in chat are currently Delete Me subscribers, so you know this already as much as I do. Delete Me makes it easy, quick, and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. Data brokers make a profit off your data. Your data is a commodity, DP and KP. Anyone on the web can buy your private details. This can lead to identity theft, phishing attempts, and harassment, but now you can protect your privacy with Delete Me. As someone with an active online presence, privacy is really important to me. I have kids, I have a wife, I'm on the road quite a bit, so our home address is a very sensitive piece of information that I would like to choose who has access to it and who does not, and having data brokers sell it doesn't really jive with me, so I appreciate the opportunity to control that. Take control of your data. Keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me Now at a special discount for our listeners. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and use promo code simplycyber at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/simplycyber and enter code simplycyber at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/simplycyber, code simplycyber. Guys, you are all troopers. You're crushing it right now. We are motoring through these ad reads. Exactly. Hey, Space Tacos, I see sometimes the truck drivers with the headsets and the mic booms. Those seem like a good idea. Definitely could get into it. See, Octet8180 saying Delete Me is cut down on the amount of spam calls. That's awesome. All right, guys, let's just really quickly, I've got one more ad, but there's something else I want to tell you. We did the first timers. We did the CPEs. Oh, it is Tuesday, which means it's Tidbits Tuesday. So at the mid-roll, I'm going to share a little special something here. You guys can vibe. I'll give you a hint. It does have to do with Mrs. Auger, who's delightfully 5 feet off camera right now, living in the Thunderdome that is the Daily Cyber Threat Brief podcast. Of course, yesterday, Tyler Ramsbo did not do the Community Member of the Week. That's okay. If we have time, we're going to do it today, and giddy up on that. So do me a favor, everybody. Let's just hear the Threat Locker ad read, and then when we come back, buckle up, because we're about to let the cool sounds of the hot news and wash over us in an awesome wave. I'll be in chat talking with you while the Threat Locker ad reads. I want to give some love to the Daily Cyber Threat Brief sponsor, Threat Locker. Do zero-day exploits and supply chain attacks keep you up at night? Well, worry no more. You can harden your security with Threat Locker. Worldwide, companies like JetBlue trust Threat Locker to secure their data and keep their business operations flying high. Threat Locker takes a deny-by-default approach to cybersecurity and provides a full audit of every action allowed or blocked for risk management and compliance. Onboarding and operation is fully supported by their US-based Cyber Heroes support team. Get a free 30-day trial and learn more about how Threat Locker can help prevent ransomware and ensure compliance. Visit threatlocker.com/dailycyber. All right, very cool. All right, guys, do me a favor. Let's settle in. Let's go. Let's get to work. Phil Stafford, Phil Stafford, all caps yelling. All right, guys, we got a great show for you. And of course, we've got jaw jacking at the end of the programming. It is a Tuesday. Eric Taylor is in the green room already, so he'll be locked and loaded. Let's cook, babies.
From the CISO series, it's Cybersecurity Headlines.
These are the cybersecurity headlines for Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. I'm Sarah Lane. Microsoft and Google among most affected as zero-day exploits jump 46%. Forescout's latest threat review released at Black Hat USA shows zero-day attacks rose 46% in the first half of 2025, with Microsoft and Google at the top of the most exploited products. Ransomware attacks were up 36%, increasingly targeting unconventional devices like IP cameras and BSD servers to bypass defenses and move laterally across networks. Of 137 tracked threat actors, 40% were state-sponsored, with Iran-aligned hacktivists, particularly focusing on critical OT infrastructure. Vietnamese hackers...
Okay, so, all right. This is really cool. So Black Hat USA, hashtag BHUSA. If you guys want to follow some of the activity, hold on. All right, I think we got it sorted out. I see some people in here saying that the videos isn't playing and the sound. So I think we got it all set up here. Okay, so if you want to follow Black Hat stuff, you can use that hashtag. There's always like research that comes out. That's one thing you should understand. So like a lot of times when we go to conferences, it's usually practitioners sharing new techniques or best practices or lessons learned or whatever. But also there's a faction, especially at these larger conferences, where security research firms and institutes and such will publish research. Now, they could publish the research at any point during the year, but tying it to a large cybersecurity conference gives it larger reach and more notoriety, which is obviously great for their business. In this particular instance, they have released evidence around zero-day exploits happening quite significantly more this year at 46%, which is pretty gnarly. It's the time horizon here is 6 months of 2025, so January through June. First, like, also shout out to these researchers for being able to compile that data that quickly, just 4 or 5 weeks ago. Zero-day exploits are basically, there's vulnerabilities with no patches, so threat actors are discovering these, or security researchers are doing this. Microsoft's number one at 30% increase, Google at number 2 with 11%. So think about that for a second. Microsoft products are 3 times greater than the second place tech stack that's getting exploited. Now you might think, oh, Jerry, like Microsoft product sucks, like that must be the problem. It's actually not the problem. Now you can have your druthers about Microsoft sucking or not sucking, but what you should be mindful of is, to me, there's a direct correlation here between market share and absolute footprint and size of number 0 days and stuff coming out. It's been this way since the 90s. Microsoft is the business operating system used throughout the world. Like, it doesn't matter what country you're in. Like, chances are, wherever you work right now, Roswell, UK in the UK, Gary Sturgiotis down in New Orleans, right? Senfilis, I think it's in Poland, right? Wherever you are, you're probably using Windows at work. Language doesn't matter. Keyboard language, right? It's just a huge footprint. So because of that, researchers target that one. Good morning, A.A. Witherspoon. Now, I just want to do a quick tie-in. I'm sure he was going to do that himself, but dude, look at this, 46%. Now, you can't stop 0 days. 0 days are going to happen. You can't, it's like literally a security vulnerability that has no fix for it. But sometimes a 0 day just gives you a little bit of access or an initial foothold. It doesn't blow the side of the submarine open. That's why, literally, I talk about Barricade Cyber's Fortify 365 all the time. This is literally configuring your Microsoft tenant to be secure and be more hardened. Again, it's not going to stop 0 day. but it will, minimize blast radius, if you will. Avanti, Qualcomm, VMware also in the mix here. Apple at 8%. That's kind of surprising. And next time somebody's in your locker room at the club, you just went for a run, you're showering down, and you got some old codger who's like, Apple doesn't get vulnerabilities. Like, bro, how about third place next to Google and Microsoft with its 0 days? So don't think Apple or Linux are considered invulnerable. They are quite vulnerable. And again, as market share increases with technology, more and more eyes are going to be on it, right? All right. Let's see. Again, just really quickly, this is more information for practitioners in general. We talk about CVEs all the time. We only cover literally a drop in the bucket on the daily cyber threat brief, right? Like we'll pull up the EPSS tool. We'll look at the EPSS score and CVSS score in the first 6 months. Okay, let this seriously let this wash over you for a minute. In the first 6 months of 2025, there were 23,583 published vulnerabilities. 23,383. Let's round up for the sake of easy math to 24,000. In 6 months, that means 4,000 vulnerabilities a month, 1,000 vulnerabilities a week, right? That's roughly, 175 vulnerabilities a day? Keep doing the math, right? How many in an hour is that, right? That's like 3 or 4 an hour. So you can just imagine the sheer volume, and this is why we have to work so hard in cybersecurity, is because there's no shortage of it. All right. Also worth noting that there's evidence to support that threat actors, especially ransomware ones, are targeting non-traditional equipment. This would be your IoT devices, IP cameras, Ring doorbells, stuff like that. And you could see that in here as well. So if you didn't need evidence to support your arguments, harden your infrastructure, secure all your things, and do the best you can, right? I'll tell you what. Let me sum up cybersecurity in like one sentence, okay? This is the establishment is going to be angry by me telling you this. My podcast might get canceled if this thing gets taken down immediately. Just know that I spit truth over here. If you configure your environment, patch your things, and control the access, you're like 95% secure, right? The other 5% are like 0 days you can't control. Those 3 things are like the lion's share of what's going on. Configure your stuff correctly, right? So disable admin default creds, harden the things, patch your stuff, so end days don't go, and then control access. That way your creds and info stealers don't really do a lot. That's it. Spoiler alert. Thank you for coming to my low-key TED Talk.
PXA Stealer hit 4,000 IPs and steal 200,000 passwords globally. Vietnamese hackers appear to be behind a new global malware campaign using PXA Stealer, a Python-based info stealer that has compromised more than 4,000 IPs across 62 countries and stolen over 200,000 passwords. The malware targets browsers, crypto wallets, VPN clients, and apps like Discord, exfiltrating data via Telegram to underground markets. Researchers say this latest variant is more evasive and multi-stage, using DLL sideloading and decoy files to avoid detection.
All right, so the Vietnamese are up to it. Let's see how this works. Cisco Talos, which is a great research group, they do a lot in the OTICS space. They released a report in November 2024 talking about this PXA, which is a Python-based info stealer targeting government and education. Let's see, how does it work? Oh my God. So this is kind of funny. Okay, so they say that the Vietnamese people, basically they steal. Is there an infographic? Oh my God, hello. Okay, hold on. Whoa. I am in complete control of all of the things here. So when in Vegas, am I right? Mrs. Auger is gonna like roll over and be like, "What are you up to over there?" All right, so let's look at this this infographic. So, in initial zip file, anytime you deal with these, complicated malware, sophisticated threat campaign, look at the initial insertions, right? Look at how the thing starts, because that's where you get going. Okay, initial zip file. So they have to send that to you. They're either going to send it as an attachment, which probably get caught in your email gateway, or they're going to send you a link and tell you it's something else. Download this. Hey, here's a RuneScape crack. Click here and run it. Okay. It then has a hidden folder, a Microsoft Word document renamed as a document. Okay, so the Trojan here is a Microsoft Word document. They're going to tell you, hey, here's my job resume, or here is my my one-time passwords to unlock my crypto wallet, whatever. James McQuiggan, 35,000 feet with a super chat.
Did we just become best friends?
Yep.
Wahoo! Let's F and go. Excited for Hacker Summer Camp this week and see all of you awesome Team SC folks. Thank you, James McQuiggan. I can't wait to see you, my friend. It's going to be electric. Okay, so here's the thing. This is something you should know. Like when you look at this kill chain here, or this infographic, like by the second column, your machine's already hosed, right? You're screwed at this point. Okay, so at this point, the Vietnamese threat actor gang is just running roughshod, wearing your pants for themselves, marching around in your home, drinking up all your coffee, eating your Eggo waffles. So you're kind of hosed at this point. All right. Ultimately, it will. They use, let's see, certutil.exe, which is in the middle there, to decode a document into an invoice PDF. So apparently they're claiming that there's a overdue invoice, and then they run the stealer. Okay, so here's the things. Okay, so here's what I would do as a practitioner. You can't sign up for the summit. Okay, that's good to know. I don't know why. So can we get so here's the thing. Zach Hill, Kathy Chambers, or Daniel Lowry should be able to answer why you're not able to log into the summit. So if you see any of them in chat, let me know. I do want to give Dave Clifton a shout out. Dave Clifton is 100% right. When you see certutil.exe decodes, that is a living off the land binary. It comes default on every Windows installation, and threat actors know this, so they like to use it. Number one, because they know it's going to work there, and number two, because EDR isn't going to flag it as a bad thing. Now, good behavior-based EDR will. So here's the two things that I can help you do to protect yourself and your organization. Number one, configure your email security gateway to look out for stuff like this. Number two, educate your end users that, zip files probably is not the way that you're going to receive an invoice. Okay. I could see a threat actor saying, hey, there's multiple overdue invoices. Click here to see them. You do want to have EDR solutions on your endpoints. That way you can protect from this. And then if you can do detection engineering, I mean, there is some evidence here to support that this piece of malware gets written to the C user's public Windows directory. So there's that. And then if you get got, you got to change your creds, and it's going to be awful. Also, by the way, they're targeting crypto wallets. So if you have a crypto wallet and you're not really sure how to protect it, you really should, look into that. All right, Butler NA is going to get some sleep. Really quick, just as an extra value add, because we haven't talked about this in a while. I did mention living off the land. This is huge, and if you are into offensive security or penetration testing, learning all those things, mostly red teaming, you should know about living off the land. I'm going to share a resource with you. I got to put the mic down, though. All right, this is LOLBAS -project.github.io. This is like the de facto website for living off the land binaries. Okay, I'm gonna drop a link in chat really quickly, and this resource is an absolute, like, this is one of those ones, like, if you've never heard about it until today, like, I'm glad you were here. I'm glad you know about it. This is like Virus Total or any.run or hybrid analysis or anything like that. There's just certain MITRE ATT&CK. There's just certain resources on the internet that we have that like you absolutely should be aware of as a practitioner. And you could see here, these are all these binaries. Insert util is right here. And this is what the threat actors are doing. They're using it exactly for this. And you can use it for downloading ADS, alternate data streams, encoding, and decoding.
New Plague Linux malware stealthily maintains SSH access. A Linux backdoor dubbed Plague lets attackers maintain persistent, unauthenticated SSH access by embedding itself as a malicious pluggable authentication module, or PAM. It was discovered by Nextron Systems and uses layered obfuscation, anti-debugging, hard-coded passwords, and environment scrubbing techniques to evade detection and erase forensic traces. Multiple samples have been uploaded to VirusTotal, but none have been flagged. NVIDIA
Trying to sneak a second cup of coffee in here. Okay, so Plague Linux malware, SSH access, a lot of anti-analysis techniques, a lot of anti-forensics techniques. Anytime, in my opinion, yeah. Hey, Kathy Chambers, good to see you this morning. Hey, Kathy, really quickly while you're here, Kathy, multiple people are saying that they're trying to register for Blue Team Summit and they're unable to do that. So if you can comment, Kathy, to chat. And if you are the ones who are trying to register for Blue Team Summit, can you please reference it? Kathy Chambers can definitely shed some light on that. Yeah, listen. Number one, Linux is not invulnerable. Don't think that you're running on Linux and all of a sudden you're like going to be able to do it. Hey, really quickly, Tuvia Harbader says, can you put it in LinkedIn chat? I cannot do that, Tuvia. And it's not because I'm trying to be elitist or something like that. It's just I don't. The LinkedIn stream is like one directional. If you want the links, please come over to YouTube in the YouTube chat. I apologize for the inconvenience. It's just very difficult to also maintain the chat in LinkedIn because it's a completely separate. Everything about it's separate, so I'd have to maintain two chats at the same time, which is it's already quite difficult to do the show. Okay, so let's see. What are they doing in here? I was saying this before. Like, dude, anytime there's anti-analysis capabilities of malware, in my opinion, it's sophisticated. Okay. Having a piece of malware do something like steal your credentials and email it to someone, or steal your credentials and push it to a C2 server, yeah, that's bad, and that's standard bad. But when you actually take the time to make it difficult for analysis, you're putting in extra features and extra time and extra effort. If you don't care about the malware, if it's just to spray and pray and hope what you get is what you get, then you're not going to put in the time and energy for the anti-analysis. The anti-analysis is because you see this malware as having legs and something that is going to run and that you're going to use it for a while. So it is very frustrating. You could see here it says thwarting analysis and reverse engineering attempts. Reverse engineering and malware analysis they're not exactly the same thing. You can reverse malware to do analysis on it, but doing malware analysis doesn't fully encapsulate all things reverse engineering. Like, you can reverse like an IoT device firmware to see if there's any 0 days in it, or to see if there's hard-coded creds, and that's not malware analysis. So hopefully that makes sense. Almost think of reverse engineering and malware analysis is like reverse engineering is like the large circle, and then the malware analysis is a circle inside of it. So there's no Venn diagram intersection. The malware analysis is fully within the circle of reverse engineering. Probably easier to show with a graphic than a description. But let's see, this thing, once it loads, it will scrub all traces of activity by unsetting SSH-related environment variables and redirecting command history to dev null. Okay, so in Linux, dev null is where you can write stuff to that it basically isn't logged. It's like, think of it as like a shredder. You know what I mean? Not the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shredder, but shredder, like a paper shredder. So when the logs are going there, there's no evidence of it. What I would say is there is. Hold on one second. What they're saying here is detection engineering is probably not going to work necessarily because it's going to be pushing all evidence that the connection's happening to the dev null and basically getting it erased. What I will say is you can't hide the fact that there's an SSH connection established, right? Like the actual like networking. So here's the thing, okay? Well, that was a misfire. Two things. When you're going to do logging, there's basically two things you can log. You can log the endpoint. I don't care if it's a Windows box, a Linux box, an IoT, IP camera, Ring doorbell, it doesn't matter. The endpoint can have logs, and then the network can have logs. That's it. Like, that's the magic. There's two things, right? And if you want to get into swipe badges and physical security, I suppose. But for the most part, it's network activity and endpoint. This malware basically eliminates essentially all endpoint logging around the SSH, but you can't hide that network logging. You're going to see the connection, okay? And if it's a machine that shouldn't be establishing SSH connections or it's reaching out to a bizarre IP address, well, then you've got yourself a little bit of a red flag. All right. Let's see. Yeah, you can see here they say that this backdoor represents a sophisticated evolving threat to Linux. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just say a lot of in the larger enterprises I've seen in my experience in my career, typically you'll have Linux servers, not many, like say like, you know, whatever, 10, 15 Linux servers that are doing like mission critical core function, like workhorse function, and then you'll have Windows servers for like your environment, your file shares, your users, your authentications and stuff like that. So your footprint is small, but the value of the targets is high.
Triton bugs let unauthenticated attackers execute code and hijack AI servers. Researchers at 5's disclosed a set of critical vulnerabilities in NVIDIA's Triton inference server that could let unauthenticated attackers remotely execute code and take full control of AI servers. The flaws are affecting both Windows and Linux deployments and stem from the Python backend that includes issues like out-of-bounds rights and memory limit bypasses. If chained together, they could let attackers steal AI models, manipulate inference outputs, or move laterally in networks. NVIDIA patched the issues in version 25.07, and there's no evidence of exploitation in the wild so far.
All right, really quick here. There was a question. I don't know if Roswell UK was being serious or not, but Roswell UK said, Jerry, how does GRC deal with auditing for a threat that leaves no trace? So I don't know if he's serious or not, but just to this point, GRC wouldn't handle this. So GRC would be helping Blue Team or the SOC. The SOC is the one who would be, detecting or identifying this, right? As far as auditing goes, I mean, you wouldn't audit for an active threat actor. You'd be detecting an active threat actor. And the GRC team would be to me, this story would influence a GRC information security program, look at like what are the capabilities. So if I suspected that, yes, we are going to have these issues of these endpoints having their logs cleared and no evidence of the attack happening, and it elevated to the level that it needed to be, right? So if our information security program is trash, I'm not worried about this. Even though this is a real risk, I'm not worried about it yet because we don't have 2FA. We don't have logging on endpoints in general. We don't have EDR. Like, fundamentals have to happen before you even begin sniffing around advanced sophisticated malware. I mean, you might, in this instance, I would probably do like privileged access management on the Linux servers themselves, because really only a few, like a handful max of limited Linux administrators should have access to do anything on these boxes from a administrator perspective. This malware right here, I guarantee you, doesn't load if you don't have the right permissions and stuff like that. So kind of kneecapping it before it even gets on there and starts deploying. That's what I would do from a GRC perspective. All right, so NVIDIA is talking in here. They're releasing evidence or research here at Black Hat as well. Unauthenticated attackers can execute code and hijack AI servers. Not a good look. Wiz is essentially the most beautiful unicorn, if you want to call it Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley is kind of like a deprecated term at this point, but like this is the hotness on the street, right? Google's been trying to I don't even know if Google officially bought Wiz yet, but Google's been trying to throw money at Wiz for a while. I think Wiz maybe they went public, but long story short, this AI space isn't going anywhere, and being able to attack the underlying models is an absolute hotness around security research right now. AI is literally everywhere, and if you can get inside the models and first of all see how the models are trained up and what they're doing, that's intellectual property. That allows you to basically get a market advantage by having your AI models leverage that lessons learned and that education. You could also potentially poison those models in order to have them do things that you want them to do. Guys, people are putting a lot of faith into AI models. There's people who are straight up falling in love with them. There's people who are doing whatever they say. There are people who are, there's a lot of good use cases. I watched a news story on Primetime News the other day about how people are co-parenting with ChatGPT. So, yeah.
Shall we play a game?
I'll just say this. If you're into AI, if you're into security research, Wiz is a top-notch cloud security platform. I'm sure this research is phenomenal. And, NVIDIA is the darling in our industry as far as making AI advances and chips that can do AI stuff. So, yeah, not a good look. Dude, unauthenticated execution of code, that's what we like to call in the business wicked bad, okay? That's what that does. All right, let's cruise on into the mid-roll.
Huge thanks to our sponsor, ThreatLocker. ThreatLocker is a global leader in zero-trust endpoint security, offering cybersecurity controls to protect businesses from zero-day attacks and ransomware. ThreatLocker operates with a default deny approach to reduce the attack surface and mitigate potential cyber vulnerabilities. To learn more and start your free trial, visit threatlocker.com/CISO. That's threatlocker.com/CISO.
Guys, we are at the mid-roll. We're a couple minutes behind because of, the Vegas and the stories and everything, so I'll just motor through it really quickly. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Shout out to the stream sponsors, Barricade, Delete Me, Anti-Siphon, and ThreatLocker. I hope you're having a great show. I want to remind everybody that this Friday, literally this Friday, August 8th from 4 to 7 p.m., we are doing the Simply Cyber Community Meetup at Beer Zombie, and you should be there if you're local, if you are at Black Hat, DEF CON. Come on down. I'll drop a link in chat really quickly. And you do have to register for it, okay? It's $5, and all proceeds, 100% of proceeds go to Black Girls Hack. So here's where the registration is. You can see everything's right here. It's $5, okay? I bought the bracelets, the wristbands, so when you show up, if you got a wristband on, you get to be part of the party. All right, every single day of the week has a special segment, and Mondays was Simply Cyber Community Member of the Week. Since I was out yesterday on travel, we didn't get to do it, but I do want to say a quick shout out for this week's Community Member of the Week. Ladies and gentlemen, Omatola Agbana. Hey, Omatola Agbana. Guys, if you don't know, Omatola Agbana is in chat right now. Blue badge. She has been in the Simply Cyber community for a very long time. Strong supporter of all the initiatives and always engaged in being part of the scene. So, Omatola Agbana, thank you so much for being a solid member of the Simply Cyber community. Would like to recognize you as the Simply Cyber community member of the week. Please connect with me on Discord so I can get you your prize. It's going to be a $100 Amazon gift card, or it's going to be a merch for Simply Cyber. Congrats. Hold on 1 second. I'm one-hand typing in here. Boom. Yeah, just such a great person. She's literally been here since pretty much the beginning. So always see her in chat. Always see her helping out. Everything. It's awesome. Every day of the week has a special segment, and Tuesdays is Tidbits Tuesday, y'all. And I share a little bit about myself. Now, here's what I want to share with you. The show started at 5 a.m. Pacific time. I am in Las Vegas. I do this every year from Vegas because I want to be true to you guys. There's a lot of West Coast people who get up first thing, 5 a.m. and do the show. Sierra Montgomery, Wade Wells, etc. Well, Mrs. Auger's with me this year, and I tried to get a suite, but there's no suites available, so she is literally in bed 10 feet away from me. So I wanted to share. These are some industrial grade earplugs. Like this is like industrial grade. You wear these at like construction plants, right? And she has these jammed in her ear and then headphones over it. So I don't think she can hear us, but I just want to let you know this is the sacrifice. And just let you know, I am this loud in person. All right, Alpha Sierra is going to lead us off. Everybody lean into it. You know the words. We are in Vegas, but it doesn't change the song. Let's cook. Also, quick reminder, if you see me in Vegas, just ask me. I've got these Simply Cyber stickers, my 2025 season stickers right there. So come ask me for a sticker. I got them like in my pocket right now. All right, let's finish strong, everybody.
Northwest radiologist data breach hits 350,000 in Washington. A data breach at Northwest Radiologists back in January exposed the personal information of 348,118 Washington residents. Attackers had unauthorized access between January 20th and 25th, affecting names, social security numbers, medical details, and other information. The company hasn't confirmed the attack type, but signs point to ransomware. Law enforcement was notified. Security upgrades have been implemented, and impacted individuals are being offered free credit and ID monitoring. No threat actor has claimed responsibility.
All right, so you youngs, okay, may not know this, or if you're new to industry, you may not know this, but like this, first of all, this is 7 months old, 8 months old. Okay, so not to like dunk on this report or this story, but like, okay, like data breach 8 months ago. Number two, this is where we are in our society. Like this story in 2014 would have been an absolute blockbuster story, right? Like 60 Minutes coming in talking about what happened at Northwest Radiology. Now, August 2025, it's like a footnote. Like there's really no details here. They said no threat actor claimed responsibility for this attack. That is 8 months old. 350,000 people impacted. Northwest Radiology probably. I mean, how big is this company? Here's the reality, guys. Okay, I'm going to tell you a couple things. Number one, if you work healthcare, I worked in healthcare for a number of years. Okay. healthcare is a phenomenal environment to work in if you want to like rapidly level up as an information security professional. If you work in healthcare right now, or if you've ever worked in healthcare, please let me know in chat if you agree or disagree with this statement. But it's phenomenal because you're dealing with clinical staff that they have their own language, you have your language. You know, the patient safety takes priority. You have IoT, or you have these like specialized medical devices all over the place. You have contractors and vendors coming in who aren't they're the ones only allowed to touch medical devices for patching. You have the FDA involved on certification. It is literally its own world. And you'll look like Matt Damon from Matt Damon from Save It Private Ryan at the end, where you go from like regular Matt Damon to the old guy in the graveyard, like if you work for 2 years in healthcare. Now, having said that, this company right here suffered a data breach. They could have done everything well and still suffered a breach. You can't remove all risk from a breach. What I will say is chances are they probably had poor security, because smaller healthcare, like small businesses already have a tough time in security. And then when you pile on the fact that they don't necessarily really care, or they have expectations that the MSP is doing security when they actually don't. John Kiefer with gifted subs. Thanks, John. And if you're one of the 5 people who got it, Jojo Rabbit, Papa El Toro, G, do thank John, Keiffer, John Kiefer, not to be confused with, oh my God, Kiefer Sutherland. Oh yeah, definitely not confused. Like that's a first name. All right. Also, fun fact, if you think, hey, Jerry, what would you know about information security, small businesses, and the intersection of healthcare? What could you possibly know about that? Well, my friend, thank you for asking, the straw man. I don't talk about this very often, but I will share this right now since it's very on brand. If you didn't know, I spent 18 months literally researching this particular problem and wrote a book on it. It's how I got a PhD. So if you're interested, literally, I did research called Flashlight in the Dark Room, a grounded theory study on InfoSec management at small healthcare providers. So if you're wondering, what do you know about that? I can tell you I know quite a bit, because literally that's what I specialized in for a hot minute. So go check that out if you're interested.
Panel to create roadmap for establishing,
or as my wife says, if you're having a tough time falling asleep, go check this out, and it should get you sorted out pretty quickly.
U.S. Cyber Force.
She has earbuds in right now, so she can't even hear me saying this.
New 17-member panel called the Commission on Cyber Force Generation has been formed to design a plan for establishing a U.S. cyber force as a separate military branch. Backed by both the CSIS and the Cyberspace Solarium Commission 2.0, the group includes former top Pentagon officials and cyber commanders, aiming to deliver recommendations before the 2026 National Defense Authorization Act.
Okay, this comes up like all the time, okay? The idea of a separate cyber force. So Marines, Air Force, Navy, we've got the water, the ground, the air, and now cyberspace, right? They're talking about having this basically branch of the military as a cyber force. Listen, like on its surface, this is a totally cool idea. In practice, this is fraught with like all sorts of politics, okay? Think about it for a second. If you're the NSA or you're like whatever, like some function of the military, and you have top-notch crack hackers, doing all the things, and now they're going to send up a separate force, that means you're going to have an erosion of power, you're going to have an erosion of budget, you're going to have an erosion of resources, because they're going to say, hey, Marine Corps, like, we're going to allocate these resources over to Cyber Force because they're responsible now. It's going to turn into, to me, it's like basically introducing another chair to the Game of Thrones small table. That's all it is. And I'm not, again, I hate to have this like Machiavellian vibes to it, but like people in power like to be in power. And like when you start eroding their power, So we'll see about this. This is not the first time that this has come up. This has come up many, many times. Personally, I like the idea of a dedicated cyber force. I think it needs to happen because the internet basically is its own battle space. But we'll see. The 17 member panel that they have on here has former like directors of NSA and high ranking people who are very read in on the nuances and going ons of DC and all those things. So I think it's definitely a great conversation, and I hope they do it. It could also just be a lot of window dressing and kind of a pissing match. We'll see. See, Lieutenant General, which is a 3-star general, okay? Lieutenant General is 3-star general. Charles Tuna Moore has publicly argued against creating a potential 7th military branch dedicated to digital warfare. So, yeah, so there's pros and cons. You can't just say, oh, it's a good idea, let's go. As far as you and I go, it's not going to make a world of difference. This is like a national security matter. It's interesting from a citizen perspective, but not, day in and day out doing our jobs, not really.
Ghost in the Zip reveals expanding ecosystem behind.
Christopher Ryan Rains says would create jobs. Actually, you know what? Christopher Ryan Rains, it's a good point. It could create jobs. There's a lot of contracting done in support of the Department of Defense. It could create jobs. At the same time, though, like it's just rearranging pool furniture, right? Like in my mind, you're not adding furniture to the pool. You're just taking the chaise lounges and sticking them over by the table and like putting, one of these like layout hammock things over by the diving board. Like you have all the same things. It's just reallocating the way that they're deployed. So, the jobs that are there now supporting the current roles would still be there. There might be a little bit more, especially if they're creating a roadmap, having some consultants come in. I'm sure McKinsey's like salivating at the idea of this.
PXA Stealer. Researchers from Sentinel Labs and Beasley Security are tracking a global cybercrime campaign dubbed Ghost in the Zip, which uses the Python-based PXA Stealer malware to steal sensitive data from victims in more than 60 countries. The malware is delivered via archived files disguised as PNG or PDF documents, leveraging sideloaded legitimate apps like HiHiSoft, PDF Reader, and older versions of Microsoft Word. It exfiltrates stolen data, including passwords, cookies, and crypto wallet info through Telegram and Cloudflare workers, and is resold via Telegram-based cybercriminal marketplaces.
All right, so a couple things really quickly. Anderman successfully got their Sec Plus this past weekend and wanted to thank this community and Professor Messer and Slay Security, Jesse Johnson. Nice. And Alicia Parkinson passed their CompTIA Sec Plus also. So we got two winner chicken dinners in chat, Alicia Parkinson and Anderman. Congratulations, y'all. Nice. Now here is the rare instance. I will personally dunk on CISO series who picks these stories for us. If they have 2 stories 2 days in a row that overlap, this is, as far as I know, I've been doing this show 3 years. This is the first time where they've had 2 stories in the same program. They have 2 stories in the same program that is essentially the same thing. So we have Vietnamese hackers use PXA Stealer, and then later on in the show, Ghost in the Zip behind PXA Stealer. So do we have the trombone that they play on The Price is Right? Like boom, boom, boom. We'll take that. So I'm just going to take this story and send it. I will say Ghost in the Zip is a cool name, but if you're interested, just roll the story back like 20 minutes and we talk about PXA Stealer.
Mozilla flags phishing wave aimed at hijacking trusted Firefox add-ons. Mozilla is warning Firefox add-on developers about a phishing campaign impersonating Mozilla or addons.mozilla.org, trying to trick devs into clicking fake account update links. It appears to be hijacking trusted developer accounts to distribute malicious extensions, many of which target crypto users by stealing wallet credentials like seed phrases. Over 40 of these malicious add-ons have been identified, some posing as legitimate tools from brands like Coinbase or MetaMask. Ohio.
Yeah, listen. Okay.
I'm a crypto evangelist. I love it, love it, love it.
That is our friend Charles Finfrock, who will be here at Black Hat. So if you're and he'll be at the community meetup on Friday. So if you're looking to meet Charles Finfrock in person, he will be there, and you can definitely get into it. He is all on crypto. Him and Jay Crypto are our resident crypto experts. Listen, if you are installing Firefox extensions to help you manage your crypto, it's probably not a good idea. It's probably not going to work out. Like, I just, please, extreme caution. Like, like extreme caution. Yes. Here's the deal, guys. Lots of people live in the browser. People use Google Chrome all the time. Let me make this a GRC thing, okay? Really quickly. Let's see if. But first, let me give you some actual executable information. They don't have any. They don't list the 40 malicious add-ons. All right. So they don't have the actual add-ons, but this article right here will show you. This actually is a pretty cool looking blog post. So I'm going to drop this in chat. They make it look real. Here's the reality, guys. Anyone can right-click download the graphics for a logo for a company, okay? I know crypto bros want you to think that NFTs are special, but it's literally just a picture, okay? You can right-click, you can create an add-on, you can make it look legit, you can use the same color branding, you can use all the things. So an add-on and extension can be quite easy. And then they're using it to look like crypto wallet things like MetaMask, Ethereum wallet, Kepler, MyMonero, all these things. And then they're stealing your stuff. Period, full stop, okay? So like, I don't know the names of the different add-ons, but educate your end users. Like, here's the thing. Like, I don't know why we'd be talking about crypto at work, but like, if you can, share it as best you can. I don't know, man. Like, honestly, the more I think about it, like, I'm being real here, okay? I would not share this with my workforce, right? Like, I'm not going to send an email out to my hospital workforce or my manufacturing workforce and warn them about add-ons stealing crypto wallets. Like, I don't need to confuse my workforce on what crypto is. I don't want calls coming in like, oh, is my crypto wallet at risk? It's like, do you have a crypto wallet, Carl? No, I don't. What is that? It's like, bro, I'm already having a tough time educating my workforce. I don't need to confuse them with crypto stuff. All right. So I hate to say you're on your own, but you're on your own. Additionally, the bigger picture, the lesson learned here is that browser extensions are can be exploitable, meaning like you can install malicious ones. Google Chrome has tons of them. Here is what you need to know. In 2025, have you seen how many SaaS applications are blowing up? SaaS meaning web-based applications in the cloud. Look at Office 365. Look at Google Workspace. Look at YouTube. Look at Coinbase. Like, look at any of these. They're all SaaS platforms. They all operate in the cloud. And most times you interface with them through the browser. So the browser, while the identity is the new perimeter, right? You'll hear that a lot in Zero Trust. Identity is the new perimeter. The browser is the vehicle that identity rides on to access these resources. So it should become blatantly obvious to you as a practitioner that the browser has become so hot.
That Hansel's so hot right now.
To be an area to attack. Yeah, attacking the endpoint and the operating system is great, but like, why not attack the browser? Because you know the browser is going to be interfacing with these systems, right? So there you go. Basically patch your browser. Huh? Although I will say, I don't know if patching the Mozilla would stop this because you're literally installing these malicious apps.
Sets new cybersecurity rules for local governments, including public approval of ransomware payments. Ohio enacted new cybersecurity rules requiring all local governments to implement formal policies and publicly approve any ransomware payments. The move was passed as part of the state's budget and follows a wave of cyber attacks on municipalities like Cleveland. Lawmakers say the new measures should increase transparency and improve defenses against increasingly sophisticated attacks that jeopardize constituent data and local infrastructure.
Have a good one, Have a good one, Robert Hendrickson. All right, guys. There's a federal regulations around ransomware and ransomware payments and not funding terrorism and all this stuff. And in the United States, if you're an international person, in the United States, there is technically it's supposed to be United States. It's supposed to be state entities that align together, kind of like the European Union and countries. In reality, the federal system is so strong that essentially it's like a country, and then the states can kind of do a little bit of their own things. In this instance, Ohio is putting in rules in place to, I would assume, I guess, handle these things. Like, instead of saying no paying ransom payments flat out, they're including public approval of ransomware payments, which I find interesting. Hold on 1 second. Let me actually Google this. As I read it, I was like, oh, wait a minute. I don't research or prep for these shows, in case you couldn't tell. So I'm doing this in real time. Let me see this really quickly. States requiring all local governments to have cyber policies to improve ransom payments to hackers in full view of the public. What does that mean? Like, oh, so this story is actually behind a paywall, cleveland.com. Get out of here with that. Here's what I'll say about this. Like, the idea of having full transparency and requiring public approval for ransomware payments sounds like a good idea. Have you seen the way government moves? Not very fast. So I think that the payments of requiring public approval seems kind of like, I don't know, silly. Like, I get it. You don't want to just piss money away. But at the same time, like, who gets to approve it? Are you going to run like a town vote? Does the selectman for the town get to vote? Does the mayor get to choose? Like, I don't understand this. There's not a lot of information here. Do I like the idea? Sure. I do think, I will tell you this, okay? So the U.S. federal government has a flat-out no-paying ransom. This is a argument that we have oftentimes in our industry, and one that I'll pose to you. You could please share your thoughts in chat. Should you pay ransom payments? The one argument says, no, don't pay the payments, because all you're doing is encouraging ransomware threat actors. If they know that you're not going to pay the money, then they'll be less likely to attack you. Then there's another side of the camp that says, how dare you say I can't pay it? If I don't pay it, I'm going to go out of business. Or if I can't pay it, I'm not going to be able to deliver patient safety or patient care or whatever. Hey, Jenny Housley, have a good one. So, and honestly, threat actors know this, which is why they attack healthcare and manufacturing specifically a lot. So I don't know where you stand on this particular issue, but it really is a thing. Samso Yolo says, disable JavaScript to bypass the paywall. I'm not going to show you how to hack this website live on stream right now. I do need the YouTube channel not to get deplatformed. We have a lot of shows going on. But anyways, that does it for today's show. Let me do this really quickly. I want to thank all of you for being here. This is Daily Cyber Threat Brief, Tuesday, August 5th, 2025. We are cooking here in Vegas. I hope you can come out and see us. I do want to do a quick love to everybody. I'm going to do gifted memberships. There's 5 from me. There we go. If you're one of the 5 lucky people who picked up those gifted subs, please enjoy the squad memberships. Be friends with Ben, A1, Mark Huffman, Jason Lorano, and Zach M. I'll be giving 5 more gifted subs out tomorrow, so be sure to tune back in if you want to grab it. Don't go anywhere, because Eric Taylor is going to be doing some jaw jacking in a hot minute. And then, of course, at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 6:30 a.m. Pacific Time where I am, it is Tuesday, which means Philip Wiley with Simply Offensive Season 1, Episode 6 is going to be coming hot at you, talking with Catherine Ullman. I have it on really great information that this is a banger of an interview. Our very own Kimberly Can Fix It pre-screened this interview for quality control, and I saw her in DMs talking about how great this conversation was. So if you respect Kimberly Can Fix It's opinion, then believe me, you're going to love this stream. Guys, I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. Definitely appreciate all of you. I'm going to be hanging out in the chat as Eric's doing the Daily Cyber Threat Brief, but I'll be quiet so Mrs. Auger can sleep. I'm Jerry. Until next time, y'all, stay secure. Don't go anywhere. We got jaw-jacking for days. Ever wonder what it takes to break into cybersecurity? Join us every weekday for Jaw-Jacking, where industry experts answer your burning questions about the cybersecurity field. Live, unfiltered, and totally free. Let's level up together. It's time for some jaw-jacking.
What is going on? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you for tuning in to Jaw-Jacking. If this is your first time, my name is Eric Taylor. I'm the CISO, Chief Forensic Operator here at Barricade Cyber, and it is my esteemed pleasure to be here answering your questions. You know, I definitely do a lot more technical. I am not GRC, but I do a lot of hands-on keyboard, and just like Tyler and DJ BSEC and Fleetus, you know, we're definitely in the mix, in the grind. So we definitely shoved Jerry out of the way. Like, oh, no, actually, this is what it is. So queue up your questions, put a Q and a colon mark in front of it, so that way I can quickly and easily find it. While we're waiting on questions to come in, that is, we've been having a lot of problems. And if you've been trying to view the Fortify 365 and register for the webinar, I can tell you, we actually have it freaking fixed. We've gone through and done some testing, things of that nature, and I think we have everything fixed. So if you go to webinar.fortify365.com, it takes you right to a Zoom page. You can register for all of the events coming up. It'll send it over in one big thing. So if you've been trying to get set up and it's just been kind of janky, apologies. We were doing some hodgepodge stuff and it's like, you know what? This workflow is not working. So we dropped some money, and we're potentially dropping some money. We're on a trial. So far, it looks good, but definitely go check that out. Let us know what you think, some of that nature. So Roswell, UK, hot off the gate here. I've got a burning question, but I'll just use some ice cream and see the doc. Okay. Speaking of burning, so my daughter is huge into archery, and I've been getting into it so that way, you know, I can spend quality time with her, you know, getting outside, touching grass, breathing air, getting the vitamin D from the sun. And she was knocking it out of the park yesterday. She was getting bullseyes. She was getting 8s and 9s and 10s and everything. And I'm still learning mine. And my bow popped I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that, but my bow popped the trash out of me. Like, it, woo! So, that was fun. I'm out of sync. I don't know how to fix that. That might be a restream issue. Let me kill my video. All right, Tech Grunt, let me know if that fixes it for you. If not, it may be a restream issue or something with YouTube. Audio is lagging. All right, so Jerry's in the background, so I'm going to refresh my page and see if that helps, because it definitely seems to be a problem. 1 second.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the party. I am cruising and crushing all up in here. Like I said, I am in chat if you're there. I had to chat a little bit in mod chat with Eric Taylor. Just want to remind everybody, I do have 20 plus years of experience in the industry and studied it for quite a while. So despite what Eric might say, I actually do have experience in industry. Looks like Eric's back on stream here. Hey, Eric.
Yeah, you may have experience in industry, but you've been high level, sir. When's the last time you got CLI? Huh? Command line interface. I say hogwash. Those who don't know, I love giving Jerry a hard time. So hopefully that fixes everything. The mouth doesn't sync. This may be a restream, or I don't know. It could be my feed. To me, when I'm looking at myself, unfortunately, on the thing, it looks fine. I don't know. All right, the pain is saying it's fixed. All right, great. Now we got some questions. All right, so it looks like I just need to refresh my page. All right, making a move from a large GRC 40,000 employee company. Holy McCow. Moo, that's a big company. To a smaller startup. Any pointers on how to shine in the first 90 days for a smaller company that may differ from that of a larger? Okay, so this is going to be in an overall personal business development aspect. Again, I'm not GRC, but Sam, this is what I would recommend, and I recommend everybody, whether you're going through yearly evaluations, you're going through consideration of a promotion, whatever, you know, sitting around eating brisket for a company luncheon, like, hey, what does success look like in my role in 30, 60, and 90 days? When you look at me, like, where do you want to see me there? And then maybe ask them, is there any resources that you can recommend to help me get there if I don't have whatever? Try that. That's what I personally would recommend. The Rich from 464, any tips from sales development to sales engineering? Meet your quota? No, I mean, the Rich, in all honesty, a lot of salespeople have problems. Where, like, we even had, this doesn't apply directly to you, but we, in our neighborhood yesterday, we had some people going around door to door, like, hey, we're giving free estimates for interior and exterior painting. And I'm like, no, we're good. The inside of my house is freshly painted for the most part within the last year. Outside, probably another year or two, I definitely need to get it painted, but it's not an urgent thing. And it's not nothing that's going to get me in trouble with the HOA by any means anytime soon. But, you know, to help keep up with appearances and keep up with the Joneses, yeah, I'm going to need to repaint it. So I literally, no, I was very polite. I'm like, no, we're good, but thank you for stopping by. And there was two people with them. The second person wanted to go on and on and on. I'm like, dude, I already told you I'm good. Now I'm going inside. There's cameras all around this property. If you're not off of it in 30 seconds, you're going to see a different side of me. I say that to say, don't get violent with people, but learn to know when to be quiet. When the customer is, or the prospect is not interested, learn to be quiet. Like, okay, I respect it, and walk away, so to speak. I always tell people that you are born, unless you're an alien or something, but typically most people are born with 2 eyes, 2 ears, but yet 1 mouth. Look and hear twice as much as you speak. Learn how to walk away. Learn how to look, read them, like read their body language if you can. Especially, always mandate you're on Zoom, if you're on Zoom or Teams or whatever, that they're on camera. Even if it's crappy, right? You'll see them shifting around. But anyway, look at that before you speak. And read their body language. Read their tone. And learn how to take tech out of the conversation. you've been around for a while, Rich. I'll do a lot of comparisons, like my world being, in the line of like a firefighter or a SWAT or police or whatever. It's something that people can easily make that correlation to, and they'll be able to understand it a lot more. Hopefully that helps you. So Jerry, you're still in the background, and this question is to you if you want to come up on screen, please. In the Joker voice, where can we get those wonderful GRC flags? I see him back there, but he may be busy.
Right.
There he
If
is.
you're talking about this flag right here, the Simply Cyber flag right here, this one, these are currently not for sale. I have two. One of them I'm giving to Alexis Julian. I've got to mail it to her. But this was a limited run. Base Case made these. I actually want to get these made. We can't sell them through the merch store, though, but we will be making these available at some point, Tech Run. It might be one of those ones where you have to, like, get me in person, or you know what I mean? Like, and we can do it that way. But that is the story behind these flags. They're about, I'd say, 3-4 years old, and we only have two left. And like I said, one's been earmarked for Ms. Julian. There's a couple of them floating around the community, though. Eric, you come back on. There we go. Get your answers.
There we go. For some reason I was clicking. Maybe me and Jerry were clicking the button at the same time. So there you go. There's your answer. Limited run. Maybe I'll come to a merch store soon, but time will tell. From McKay, when do we get AI content added to GRC Masterclass? I recently purchased and loving it already. He's in the background. I'll let him weigh in on that. I know he's got other things on the immediate roadmap. He's taking care of, DEF CON. He's got the Simply Cyber. He's, there's other classes that are spinning up, but I know he'll take that go ahead.
Yeah, hold on one second. Let me. Your audio is still gonna be hot, Eric. So Mickey, I have already added this. I filmed a lecture. It's a 45-minute lecture, full on, around using AI to do security awareness through tabletop exercises, and it has been included in the course. Now, it is important to note that the course is the GRC Analyst Masterclass at Simply Cyber Academy is the one that is being updated and maintained. That is my course. That's my school. That is where it's at. If you bought it from TCM, or if anyone has it from TCM, that's retired, and we're no longer affiliated with TCM. So hopefully that answers that question. If you currently have access, as it appears you do, Nikkei, go into the GRC Analyst Masterclass and look at, I think it's module 3-4, and you'll see it's tabletop exercise AI, 45-minute lecture. I added it last week, so please enjoy that content, and let me know if you have any issues, Nikkei.
Awesome. Look at that. From Wired Dog Sec. What's going on, Wired Dog Sec? It's been a while since I think I've seen a question from you, so thanks for asking. Have you worked any incidents related to the latest SonicWall firewall 0-day vulnerability? No, I have not. What are your thoughts from a cyber response? I'm out of touch a little bit on the SonicWall. I heard a lot of people saying about a possible 0-day, but it doesn't surprise me, and this is even something we're going to have to be talking with our clients a lot. Whether you're on SonicWall, you're on FortiGate, Palo Alto, Meraki, whatever it is, SSL VPNs have been a massive target. The threat actors are trying to get access to these things no matter what the vendor is. And that's what this 0-day is. I don't know if a CVE has been tied to it, so I'm a little disconnected on that one. But I know it's around the SSL VPN. There's a big, massive push to ZTNA, the Zero Trust Network Appliance or application, Depends on who you talk to, or I'm having a brain fart. But yeah, there's a big push. So, we're even starting to have internal conversations with our clients about maybe we should migrate away. Now, the problem, I don't know how much of a problem this is because a lot of our clients, I know a lot of clients out there have multiple locations. So you have a site-to-site SSL VPN. Now, granted, you're setting your FAR IP address of the remote site in that configuration. So it's not even going to try to authenticate to whoever, Bob from, the Pizza Hut Wi-Fi, just throwing out random names and places. So that is a control factor already in place, but allowing users to come in through VPN only using SSL VPN versus IPsec, that may be, pivoting to enforcing only IPsec for the remote users, but that opens up its own can of worms. There really is, a GRC, as much as I hate to say this, discussion, and a business operations, like where is your risk tolerance at for these connecting technologies? It's something to consider, right? For someone who wants to do Jack the Box or bug bound, okay, I never heard of Jack the Box before. Should they use a VM or install Linux distro on a partition and use that as the main OS? Me personally, again, your mileage may vary, but I would say do a Linux VM, right? So you're not having, and the only reason I say this is you're doing a different Linux partition. You're completely rebooting your machine to boot up into that Linux. Now, granted, you have level separation, yeah, but the VM just gives, to me, it gives you much more flexibility to be able to, go back and forth. Let's say hypothetically you work at a company that will allow you to have VMs installed on your workplace environment, and they'll allow you to do that kind of stuff on your lunch break or something like that, and you're not rebooting or whatever the case is, right? So you only have like 10 or 15 minutes. You can fire up your VM, you can mess around, do what you're going to do, and then get back to whatever you were doing, whether at work or at home or whatever. Again, clear that with your executives before you start installing VMware or, a VirtualBox or something like that. From Shane F, can you speak to the issues you were having setting up webinar? Get in the weeds if you could. Yeah, I mean, real quick, we're getting up to the top, and I definitely want to bang through some other questions real quick. But we were going through some automation processes, trying to see, like, originally every webinar was its own webinar, and we're trying to figure out a way to let somebody enroll and sign up for the entire series. It was really where our crutch was. If you go to webinar.fortify365.com, I think when I checked it this morning, it goes all the way through December. So people don't want to register for every individual session, so we were going through Luma, we were going through some other stuff and trying to figure out some workflow, and while it is a lot more expensive with Zoom to carry it out in this fashion, I think the user experience is going to be so much better, where you can be able to sign up and have access. It'll send you calendar invites for the entire series. And if we have to change one session in that series, in our testing, it was updating you. So again, sometimes a business needs to pay money, unfortunately, for a user experience. And that's what it looks like the Zoom sessions platform is going to do, which is a bolt-on top of the webinars. Octid 8180, do companies legally have to tell you if they know your PII, or are they allowed to tell you that the PII has been... do companies legally have to tell you if they know your PII, or are they allowed to just tell you that the PII may have been accessed? So I'm going to go out on a limb, Octet, and assume you are referring to a breach of some sort, some cybersecurity incident of sorts. It depends, unfortunately, on which state you live in. And I've talked about it before. We've got this book that we get updated every year. We go to a conference, I pick up a fresh copy every year, and really it depends on your state's attorney general. I don't quote me on this. It's been a while since I looked at it, and we don't have enough time for me to go in and double check, but I think Maryland is like one record rule. So like if one or more people who reside in Maryland, you have to notify all of them. South Carolina, I believe, is 500 or 5,000 maybe. So in an incident, if you're going through e-discovery to see what PII information is available, then they'll correlate that to see what state you were in, and then see does it meet that threshold. When you're going through an incident, a lot of companies we've been finding a lot lately, they will just notify everybody whether it meets that threshold or not, because the overall bucket may be so massive that they want to notify everybody about a potential issue. Some cases, it's like if the state mandates it, then we'll notify. If not, then we won't. It boils down to a lot of times insurance coverage is what my personal thinking is. If the insurance is going to cover a complete notification, then they'll do it. If not, then what's the most cost-effective way? So you may not be aware of your PII being accessed, compromised, stolen, or whatever, unfortunately. What are some good questions you recommend people ask during an interview to help you get insight into the business they are interviewing for? So I mentioned it a little bit a while ago, Kayla. Where does success look like in 30, 60, 90 days? I would also say, am I the first person in this role? And what prompted you? What issue? If yes, follow-up question: what issue are you trying to solve by opening up this role for employment? If not, tell me about some success stories of other team members that have been here, and tell me about some failures. Even when we're having new meetings, I'm literally using this question when I get ready for partners, and this is going to be the last question because we're coming up hard on the time. I will say, when you're dealing with other DIR firms, and we're specifically when I'm talking to insurance carriers and stuff like that, what are some things that you did not like, without giving me names, but what are some things that they did that you did not care for? And I tell them flat out, like, look, we are growing, and I'm trying to grow this business, and I want to make sure we don't fall in those same pitfalls. So using that to yours, like, what are some horror stories, or where were some pitfalls that other team members fell into, so that way I can avoid falling into that pitfall as well and line myself up for success in your organization. Hopefully that helps. With that, we are coming up. We may have time for one more quick question. Let me see. I know we've been kind of getting up to the top, and I definitely want to play Jerry's rollout here. That is, believe Antonio, that looks on the surface like a political one, and we're not doing that. Yeah, real quick, Matt, what is something I can do in the community to gain real world experience in the GRC space? I would say volunteer. Volunteer. If you haven't gone through Gerald's masterclass, get the foundations there, and then start applying them in volunteer roles. I know, a lot of nonprofits will take that volunteer work. The Red Cross, your local children's organization. I'm big into anything for the children, so take a look at those volunteer internships and apply those things that you've learned in GRC, and you're helping your community, and you're getting real world experience. Hopefully that helps you. Thank you all so much. Again, we are toward the top of, sorry, I didn't mean to click that. We are to the top, and I did want to, we've been going real long, so I want to play the closeout. Thank you all so much. I will try to be on Friday's panel. Until next week, stay curious, my friends.
Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed that content. Keep the cybersecurity train going by connecting with the other Simply Cyber community resources. We have the Discord server that's lively and always keeps the conversation going. You can connect with me directly on LinkedIn. And also every single weekday morning on the Simply Cyber channel, we're doing live daily cyber threat briefings, 8 a.m. Eastern Time, as well as Thursday at 4:30 p.m. We're doing live stream interviews with industry experts, and we produce videos that we push out every Wednesday morning. I'm Jerry from Simply Cyber. I hope you enjoyed the content, and we'll see you in the next one.